Jesse, in the past 7 battles, you have been faced with fierce competitors, and you've knocked them all out of this competition. And if you win today, you will match the most amount of money ever earned in Forge and Fire history, $50,000. Your competitor has 2 Gladiator of the Forge titles of his own.
Oh.
Jesse, in order to win today, you're gonna have to beat this guy. Kurt.
My name is Kurt. I'm a 2-time Gladiator of the Forge. Now I get another chance at beating Jesse, and then he can feel what it's like to have a loss under his belt.
This battle will consist of 8 hours of forging competition where you will build one of these 3 blades from our wall of Gladiator weapons. Today, you're gonna need to build this.
I hope it's not a Dolabra.
The Dolabra.
The Dolabra was a versatile weapon used by the Roman Empire army in the 1st century and beyond. Featuring a massive axe head on one side and a sharp pick on the other, the versatile battle axe doubled as a tool for soldiers who would need to fell trees and clear brush. In the Colosseum, the Dolabra's ability to deliver deadly chops and lethal blows against an enemy made it a favorite weapon of the gladiators.
Bladesmiths, this is it. This is the last battle in our Colosseum-themed competition, Gladiator of the Forge. So good luck. Your time starts now.
My game plan is to forge out this canister, cut the canister billet in half for the outer jacket, and then forge out a 20-layer random pattern billet and have that as a sandwich. I'm setting up my Sanmai so that there's already a gap. After I get this entire thing welded, I'm prepared to begin drawing out my blade. After I get the axe head shaped out, it's time to go into the pick. This is not your traditional pickaxe. It's a recurve pickaxe. So I do that with my good old trusty hand hammer and the anvil horn.
Jesse's blade is like a badass.
Now with the blade pretty much forged to shape, it's time for the quench.
There we go. All right, Jesse has his axe head quenched. He still has to get that pick done. Boom. Jesse has a fully quenched blade.
It's great. It's a little bit heavy, so I can definitely spend a lot of time on the grinder and make sure it's as light as it needs to be. One of the parameters is a leather wrap, so it's time to give it some flair. I want it to look like a bloody mess.
What is Jesse doing?
He's trying to make it look like it's bloodied up.
How long does that stuff take to dry?
Long enough that I'm gonna have red hands.
This thing looks so menacing. Even my hands look bloody. Last thing I want to do is put an edge on this thing.
This time I go with 16 layers because that's 4 less chances of a forge weld not taking. If I cut it up 4 times, I'll still have 64 layers total with that 1095 core for the same line. All the forge welds took. So once I get the length that I need, I can cut it up into 4 pieces, stack it, and draw it out to get the 64 layers. Good. Now that I'm confident that the welds are good, I can draw it out and then forge weld with Sanmai. I see that some of the welds around the eye are splitting about 1/4 of an inch. I drifted the eye walls too thin, and there's a crack going right down it. I just want to do an edge quench on the axe head because if there is too much stress on that cracked weld around the eye, it could blow the entire weld apart. I'm hoping that this heat treat goes well.
All right, guys, we got 2 bladesmiths with 2 fully quenched weapons. These guys are seriously neck and neck.
Yeah.
The last time that I lost against Jesse, it was because of the handle. So I'm going a little extra on this one.
Kurt's been spending a lot of time without a handle. Last challenge, make it beautiful.
I finally have everything put together, and I am extremely happy now. Hopefully, my weapon's good enough to beat Jesse.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, put down your tools. This round is over.
Gladiators of the Forge. Your Dolabras look evenly matched, but it's time to find out what kind of lethal damage they will do. This is the kill test. Kurt, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, Kurt, stuck up with your Delabra here. First up, it is razor sharp. That time is gonna have a headache for a long time. Now, using this on that ballistics dummy, it is amazing. Every thrust with your pick here penetrated this because of the balance you have here allows for nice thrust and delivery on that. But during the test, you lost a section right here. One of the layers from your blade right here didn't weld all the way through. But looking at this, your core is still solid. So it's still gonna be a functional and testable blade. And overall, sir, your Delabra, you will kill.
Thank you, Doug.
Jesse, you ready? All right, let's do this. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your Delabra here. First up, you have a heavier blade here, but it serves it very well when you're doing damage like that. The feel of the weapon really allows it to go deep into this ballistics dummy. Overall, sir, your Delabra, you'll kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for our strength test. The Roman armor and shield chop. And Kurt, you are up first.
Oh, destroy it.
I can't wait to.
That was pretty cool.
So, Kurt, this is a good-looking weapon. The leather wrap you did and the texturing up on the handle actually make it quite comfortable to swing. The issue I have is this delamination. It's come further open and didn't affect using it at all. But I do worry that that's going to continue to be a problem. All right, Jesse, you're up. You ready?
Sure.
All right, Jesse, right off the bat, great look. It's a good shape. The pattern came out really nice. And where it really stands out is right there on the socket, which is kind of cool. You still got an edge. Everything's right and tight, everything's solid. All in all, it held up beautifully. Great job.
Thank you.
You had fun, didn't you? Well, Jesse, Kurt, I couldn't have asked for a better final matchup. But at the end of the day, only one of you can take home that final title and the last check for $5,000. The Gladiator of the Forge is... Jesse, you are unstoppable. Now, Kurt, you should be proud of your work, but unfortunately, Delabra did not make the cut. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Kurt.
Jesse, congrats, man. You deserve it.
Thank you.
So Jesse took another title, and I don't disagree at all. He, once again, turned in an awesome weapon.
Kurt, you did a good job, man.
Thank you.
Chin high.
Well, Jesse, I've got one word to describe you, and that is impressive. You just won your 8th Gladiator of the Forge title, and you have $50,000 to take home with you. Congratulations.
Thank you. This experience was definitely once in a lifetime. I just won 50 grand. I'm planning on putting so much of it into bladesmithing. I already made a spreadsheet of all the tools I'm gonna buy. I'll finally live the dream as opposed to just dreaming the dream.
Well, guys, congratulations. The two of you are joining us in the third and final round of this competition. In this final round, we're sending you back to your home forges for 4 days to build an iconic weapon from history. You're gonna be building this. Bladesmiths, this is the Naga sword.
The Naga sword traces its origins back to 16th century India. Featuring a broad, square chisel tip, this weapon was great at inflicting powerful, deadly chops in combat. This rare version of the Dao sword was reserved for the highest level tribal authorities due to the scarcity of iron in the area. While few Naga swords still exist, it can be seen on display in the halls of the British Museum in London.
Good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
Let's get it.
My name's Chris Smith. I am 41 years old from Bergen, Kentucky. I'm a refractory brick mason and a part-time bladesmith. I thoroughly enjoy making knives. It's a lot like a rabbit hole. There's new materials coming out all the time, new tools, and I just enjoy the challenge.
Feeling pretty good. Got all the parameters met. It's time to heat treat this thing. Let's hope this goes well. There was no crazy fireballs or broken blades or anything like that. The quench went great. Yeah, it's hard. I am stoked. This thing is gonna look awesome. I got it ground, ready for etching. It's gonna look good. The blade etched, amazing. It's time to start thinking about the handle and how I'm gonna make it. I feel like I have plenty of time. Doing some research online about this Naga sword, the majority that I saw had red goat hair off the pommel of them, just as a decoration. So I ordered goat hair off the internet. I think it's perfect.
I'm Joseph Jojo Salyers. I'm 19 years old from Rutherford, North Carolina. I'm a full-time bladesmith with my dad, Billy Salyers, who just so happens to be a Forged in Fire champion.
Billy, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Good job, brother.
And so here I am, hoping I can show the old man up. It's coming along pretty well. We got a solid bill of Damascus. Time to get my blade in the oil. With Damascus, you have a bunch of little welds. Any of those welds could possibly pop open. I'm hoping everything comes out all good. All right, hot metal. My sword's quenched, it's pretty straight. All in all, my blade's mostly done. Most of the work I have to do is aesthetics and sharpening.
That is what you like to see.
My dad was kind enough to give me something to test my blade on.
I present you a challenge worthy of your skills.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Yeah. Shall go on the wall, we shall stuff it. My sword's comfy, sharp, it's done. Now it's time to go see what the judges can do with it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. To find out what kind of lethal damage your weapons will do, I'm going to take your weapons and put some lethal blows or chops on this big carcass. Jojo, are you ready for this?
Let's make some pork chops.
You got it. All right, Jojo, pork chops you wanted, pork chops you got. Most of the weight is right here in the handle, so that really lends itself to a nice, balanced weapon. Your sword's edge over here chops deeply, especially on one swing on the leg. And overall, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, Chris, your turn. So you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Chris, the first thing I noticed about this is just how sharp your edge is ground. And that lends itself for very deep cuts. And I like to throw back to the 90s troll hair right there. But overall, sir, your Naga sword, it will kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to the strength test, the Howdah chop. Now, those Howdahs would be riding on top of an elephant. This test is not about what your Naga swords do to the Howdah, but what that Howdah does to your blades. And Jojo, you are up first. You ready?
I suppose so.
All right, so Jojo, there's no damage. It's a kind of an axe grind, but on a chopper, it works fine. It held up beautifully in the strength test. Well done.
Thank you.
Chris, you ready to play with the Howdah?
Yes, sir.
All right. Chris, I'm going to start back here on your handle. I like this. It's got a fairly traditional look to it. As far as your blade goes, we have a little bit of an issue. Your edge has deflected over to one side, but it's still sharp. Other than that, I think you did a good job. Well done.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the sharpness test of jackfruit and rope slice. Jojo, you're up first. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do this. All right, Jojo, your edge cut nicely on these jackfruits and the rope overall. Needle cut.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, your turn, sir. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this. All right, Chris. So in cutting the jackfruit, this section right here met the jackfruits. So that includes this area that took some damage. You can feel a little bit of a drag, but it did not affect. It was able to cut through the jackfruit and the rope. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
The bladesmiths, both your blades tested well, but only one of you can go home with a Forged Fire Champion title and a check for $10,000. Our judges have discussed your blades and they made a final decision. Today's Forged Fire Champion is Jojo. Congratulations. Chris, there's no doubting you are an extremely talented smith, but unfortunately your time in this competition has ended. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
All right. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Chris. It's a beautiful piece.
Awesome, brother. Thanks, mate.
Take care, guys. I think it all came down to the heat treatment of my blade. I'm not sure what went wrong, but something obviously did.
Jojo, congratulations. That means you are the newest Forged Fire Champion. Not only that, you are the very first father and son champion that's ever come through Forged Fire, man. Congratulations.
I cannot wait to get home and tell Dad. This is going to be super cool, and he's going to be just as excited as I am.
Is this a blade you'll build again?
I think I'll make an extra one. I need something to show off at the house. This is so awesome. I never thought I'd be here, and man, it's just a blessing. Jojo's the Forged Fire Champion. Let's go. Up top. Yeah.